big. They instead choose the Slims, and I am not so hot on Slims' damage these days. I think he's mostly valuable for his stuns, his spear throw.
Right, I mean, and it can be versatile, especially when you got that Grak on the team. Maybe he gets a long-range spear, Grak follows up with a hook. Could be a good team, but it looks like we are ready to go into game number 1. Here we go. Oh, almost there. I got so excited. We got to look at the screen one more time. Look at the roster. What do you think about this composition?
I think that there's not enough follow-up damage on Europe.
Not enough follow-up damage. I mean, they got the Liliana, the Slims. You don't think Slims enough?
I don't think Slims. Yes, okay. Possibly that's the damage they're looking for, and they make it up between the lot of them. But I really do think even if they land all of their stuns, they're going to struggle to actually burn down a lot of the invading players.
Right, especially with that Zenial over there on the Korea side as well. It's going to be hard, but let's see what they've got. Going to be Korea versus EU. EU's first time here on the stage at the World Cup.
Yeah. And I'm excited for that. We're getting into game, and if I had to nail you down, I'm biased, so you need to do this. Give me a prediction.
I've got a prediction for Korea. They know the esports. They got this.
Ehu? Ehu?
That's
mean. That's not even good. That's just rude.
Ehu? I'm
upset. There's the pressure.
Shout out to Europe.
Chaser pressuring forward, Sun doing that in the bot lane, the famously aggressive player invading jungle to steal a buff on Zenial.
Right. I mean, why not?
Because that's a bad idea. You're not supposed to do it, but he's solo invading and very, 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 very slowly.
Very slowly, but very successfully gonna get that stage goal to start things off here, right?
That was one of the slowest things I've ever watched.
And I can't believe, like, what? He took it. I can't believe that Zenial stole it from us.
Yeah, Shurka was like, wait, what? He was in that bush the whole time?
Yeah, Grizzly Q was like, oh, come on. Really? And you see Rush over here moving along with his Violet.
Watch how Europe play defense. This is very important to me because so much of what Korea does well is constant pressure, constant invades like this. If Europe are able to shut it down, they win. If they're not, they lose.
And here we go. Small exchanges here in both the top and the bottom lanes. Just a little bit of poke going down. You got the Scud out there clearing the lane. Relatively safe start for both teams.
Yeah, both teams feeling comfortable. Huck, though, is getting a little bit too close to Memorize for comfort. Good stun shank from Simjo and Shurko. That slows things down.
Yeah, really not a great hook for Memorize, though. Maybe trying to predict a little too hard where J-Jack was going to be.
Yeah, he got in trouble, but I think he should just be happy he survived, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
I know they have good healthcare in Europe, but I wouldn't have felt like I could survive all that damage.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It must be pretty decent. It's got to be better than we've got over here.
Shurko will take a bit of a range damage, and Rush is already looking terrifying. You can see how much damage that Violet...
You see the Slims up top, though. They're going to try and take the Spirit Sentinel, get a little bit more of a goal lead. Chase trying to come in to interrupt, but a little bit too late there.
Look at the Violet. Only 1k gold. I was thinking maybe that Violet was building an early gold lead. They were trying to funnel damage, but he's just on par with everyone else.
Right, I mean, yeah, like I said, extremely slow start, but now Korea positioned well to take this dragon. Here comes EU to try to stop it. Grizzly Q, he's got the Malik, he's got to get in there now. Just a little bit late, almost had the snipe. Rush, though, with the Violet getting it instead.
So the thing with the Devil's Chain hook is it does very little damage.
Right.
But that was like the one time I've ever seen it positioned in such a way it might have successfully stolen. Here's the Sage Golem. Simjo might be in trouble, but everyone's able to back off, and Simjo's just taking the lead here on the Fennec.
Get the first blood here on J-Jack, and he does!
Nicely done. The Ancestral Glory, or sorry, the Angelic Splendor comes through. That's a nice hook in response.
Yeah, Simjo gonna fall as well. Now a shot coming out. Grizzly Q, though, misplacing it, not getting anyone caught, and now he's gonna go down as well. This is a rough start for EU.
Very rough. It's got the texture of sandpaper because they're just getting shut down in these fights, and there were bits that looked great. I really liked how Rez pushed in, but again, we talked about it, he didn't really have follow-up damage.
Yeah, let's take a look back at that first blood, actually. And you can see here J-Jack getting chased out. Rez split from his team, though, to get that kill.
The Angelic Splendor comes out from Sun, and it's well-timed, and I think, actually, maybe if J-Jack had slowed down, he would have received the healing and survived. But either way, he's certainly not too upset. Grizzly Q not able to land the Malik shock.
Yeah, that shock, if it was placed close to the brush, would have been a much more effective shock.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. But right now, Korea sitting in the lead 3-1. Only about a half K goal lead, though not too significant, all things considered, considering they do have that first Abyssal Dragon as well.
Yeah, Korea are being kept in tow so far. Europe are managing to keep the farm game close, and that's very important because that is so often where Korea excels. Oh, look at this trap.
Oh, it's going to land. There's Jack. A little bit of trouble here. He's going to have to back out. And the spear going to stun from downtown.
I love this stun shade. You could just, when the EU starts stunning you, you could just stop and think about your life. You know, maybe take notes for your degree.
Yeah, a couple seconds of stun there.
It's a long, because it's the spear throw, it sometimes started off by the shock, and then you as well have the blinding light from the Liliana, and you're just spending an inordinate amount of time doing nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And you see right now, Korea roaming through that red jungle, coming back out, looking to get another dragon.
Dragon will be up for grabs. Grizzly and Simjo, Shurko nearby to challenge, but they don't quite feel comfortable going for this.
Yeah, Violet is chunking Grizzly down there. And right now the Dragon gonna reset.
Rush, so good at that, and you can see he's about to chunk up this tower as well. Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch for
That's
Rush?
Chunky cereal.
I guess.
Oh, the shock!
At the last second, J-Jack might go down here.
Angelic Splendor does come through. Rez again is overextended. This is too far forward, and he will go down.
And Angelic Splendor putting in so much support there. It's unstoppable right now for EU. And that's twice.
That's rough, because it's twice that Rez is overextended as well to be punished by it.
Yeah, exactly. So they've really got to be careful as Zenial as they make these pushes. And another Abyssal Dragon going in favor of Korea. They're looking pretty strong at the 5-minute mark.
Especially Chaser constantly pressuring this top lane, as he is very well known to do. They need to shut him down, slow down the push, and maybe get back into the game just with farming. You can see EU aren't actually terribly behind in Golden Farm.
Yeah, let's take a look one more time at that overextend though. It happened just a second ago. You saw the nice engage by EU, but the tower already down the hook, just missing J-Jack. And then look at it, right before that, the Angelic Splendor would come in right after that and save the day.
And I love that Angelic Splendor. It's such a powerful ultimate. You cannot keep ignoring it like it feels like EU have.
And another Spirit Sentinel now for Violet. Gonna give some HP recovery and movement speed out of combat. But here's a little engage over this blue golem. Sage golem gonna go to... Wow, did Violet get that? That's from so far.
Yeah. Violet's got a really long gun.
Yeah, a really long gun that improves the range, obviously. That's how that works.
I think so. Well, if the gun's longer, then the bullet's longer. And if the bullet's longer, then it quantifiably travels further.
I certainly do not know enough about guns. Almost had the devil chains there, but doesn't
I'm an American, trust me.
Are you sure? I'm not really sure with your voice. But Simjo now with the spear.
Yeah.
Gets hit by an energy surge out there.
I really
him down.
I really like the pressure that they're constantly providing on the Korean invades from Europe, but it's not enough because you can't just put pressure, you can't just find the stun, you need to have a follow-up.
Yeah, exactly. This is what you called out when we started, during the pick ban phase even. So right now it definitely seems to be playing out that way.
And I really don't know where that damage starts to come if Simjo's this far behind. I haven't seen look at his items for a while, but I don't think his build's going very well, just because of how much their team is getting shut down in their own jungle.
Yeah, I mean, look at the level differential here. Memorize is 6, Chaser is 10.
Both of those sound too young to play in this tournament. I'm very impressed. I don't want to be ageist.
Yeah, 6 and 10, is that what you're referring to?
J-Jack and Chaser do have the invade in the meantime. They successfully again are shutting down these jungle camps.
Yeah, definitely doing a pretty good job. Korea, of course, pushed very well at the top and gonna have to rotate and try to get some towers in the other lanes though. Their goal lead right now sitting at almost 4K though at the 8-minute mark. It's looking pretty rough right now for EU. What do they gotta do to turn things around here?
I mean, it's going to take their control of the jungle to increase. Look for these big gold objectives like the Abyssal. Rez.
Yeah, that's Embrace holding him in place, though. He's trying to get out of there.
He's a caged beast.
Yeah, the Furious charge to get out. But it looks like now Korea gonna rotate, get that mid tower.
Abyssal
Memorized.
Is picked up in the meantime, though. Europe do get the gold benefit. I'm not sure if that's worth the trade, though, as we edge towards the late game.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to rotate now to the bottom tower. Shock going to come out and try to keep them out at least and clear the way. But oh my god, he may go down.
He has melted. The man stays alive. He's on life support.
And
it's,
it's gone. On the tower. Simjo very low. Going to have to back out though. No more damage. And again, Korea surviving pretty well here.
There is no way to stay alive for Grizzly Q there.
No.
That was brutal.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to just clear this wave, push everyone off with my shock. And they were like, oh, thanks for coming to see us.
By the way, we do damage, and we'll do it to this tower as well.
Yeah, tower after tower now. Korea just rotating through the lanes. Unfortunately, the top lane doesn't have any minions behind it, but Sun working his bottom lane. Man, you mentioned that Zenial. He likes to take it. He got the blue early. He's got the tower on the bottom lane. Solo work by himself. He'll be Angelic Splendoring in any moment now.
If Sun isn't moving forward, he's disappointed in himself. That just always seems to be the truth about that player. He's constantly pressuring weird stuff. And for Zen, I feel like that's actually a super good pick because his constant matter, because like you say, Europe are just chilling.
Yeah, they're trying to defend their base, push out their waves, and it's definitely going to be a free Dark Slayer for Korea.
Some lasagna. It's a European food.
Oh, I see.
I was thinking because you'd be like eating bacon if it was an American team that was like eating a hamburger. But there isn't, like, lasagna's Europe.
So they're at their base eating lasagna.
I'm working on it. We'll get there.
We're getting there, sooner or later.
With this Slayer buff, it may as well be GG if Europe aren't able to find an early pick. It's all about the pressure to find an isolated pickup like maybe Chaser in the top lane. As is, though, they're wasting time and the pressure's about to crash against their towers.
Yeah, exactly. All the lanes being pushed up by Korea right now. Now they've got to stop with the Slayer buff. It's not going to be easy.
It can be very difficult.
Yeah,
they've set the difficulty to the hardest.
Yeah, they're doing a good job crushing these waves, though.
Yeah. And that's a very European thing to do. Vitality is well known for it in Europe. If you could slow down the wave, maybe.
Yeah, they're trying to bait him out to engage, to come from behind. You see Sun out of position. He wants the Angelic Splendor in for the save.
He wants to get in with the Angelic Splendor at perfect time, but in the meantime, he's just escorting that minion wave up. And EU needs to hold bot, but again, they're doing a great job at it.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. See, even the top lane, Scud pushing out that wave a little bit further. Mid tower, though, high ground tower, underneath half-life.
Yeah, and every single wave that comes through, particularly with a Violet on the team, it's just going to lower,
here we go. Here comes the
lower.
shot.
There's the Angelic Splendor as well. Korea take the tower and a good push. Beautifully done. Simjo is gone, memorized. He will join him. Grizzly Q's got no HP either. That should be game.
Oh, yeah, that should be the core. Didn't even try to finish off everybody. Didn't even need to. Korea, game #1 over EU.
Beautifully done by them. That was some Korean Arena of Valor. But I know this is not it for Europe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do they have under their sleeves, TJ?
Well, they have that notebook earlier that said they weren't going to feed.
I don't know if they fed. Did they feed?
They didn't feed.
I don't think they fed.
Not one player on that team
Secrets.
fed.
Revealed.
Exactly. So, stage #2. What is your second strat in that notebook? I'm willing to bet it's find kills. Make the other team feed.
Well, let's take a look at the stats here. The only player to die from Korea's side was Jajak. What was he doing out there? Super overextending, getting a death on team. Unbelievable stuff.
I can't believe he let his team down like that.
Yeah, shout out to Rez, getting the 1 kill on your team. You earned it, buddy.
That was hard commit. He tried very hard to find several kills. A lot of aggression coming through from him, and on a character like Scud that's a little bit newer to the European meta, that's fun to see.
Right, most definitely.
Shurko, though, 37% of his team's damage. That's not bad at all, and particularly if you look at the number, it actually scales pretty well compared to many of the other players on the field.
Yeah, you mentioned, that they needed to do more damage when they got their stuns. And early on here, you saw Rez out of position a couple times, those Angelic Splendors coming in to save the day. And then this unfortunate shot just slightly out of position, and he had to fall from that as well. And then this shot underneath the tower, oh my gosh, he just got melted.
He was measuring in meters.
Oh, yeah.
But he's in America, so it was feet.
Oh, boy. What a miscalculation.
Yeah, it throws all kinds of things off. He doesn't need to worry. And it was that. It was what I called out in the beginning. They were kind of bullied off of all the jungle characters that I think really could have pumped in the damage to follow up with their CC composition.
Yeah, so
just a Slims, they weren't finding the kills.
Exactly. Like, Lindis did a pretty decent amount of damage, but the Slims on the other side, a little bit lacking.
And that's just a good draft phase. Korea, well managed, well done, and I think you can see the differential in gold here. That says everything to me.
Yeah, and of course, maybe Korea a little warmed up, right? They got to play on day #1, so they got the warm-up game. This is Europe's first game ever at the World Cup. They got the first game jitters, perhaps. Maybe they just got to shake that off and get to game 2.
Absolutely. 5-1 coming in from here.
5-1 coming in from here? You thought it was going to be 5-0, now it's going to be a 5-1? Well, anything can happen. Anything can happen. It's not over until it's over. Remember that one?
No.
Nope.
No.
Neither do I.
Oh, was that earlier?
There you go.
I remember that was the thing that we said, got it, check. Korea does have a way to lock down this set, and I like it. But if Europe are going to turn this round, I have a couple of notes. I like what you're doing with the CC. Swap off of the Scud, maybe shift the Scud over to something that's doing a bit more damage for a little bit less HP. We were never really seeing the Scud used for the CC potential, and it was a dire split lane disadvantage. You need to win versus Chaser.
So maybe something like a Lubu.
Yes, I'd like to see something like a Lubu, a kind of more warrior-type class as opposed to a tank.
Right.
And we're going to be getting into this second draft in a moment, so it all comes down to, for me, how they're drafting for Europe. That was where they lost game 1.
Right, and we do get a side swap here. So Europe going over to the blue side this time. Korea going to be on the red side, and the bans coming out. I wonder if they're going to have any target bans based on that first game.
I would.
Yeah, it didn't seem that out of control, right?
I would get rid of the Omen. That would be my number one thing. And frankly, anyone who's not banning Omen versus Korea is missing a trick, because Chaser and Sun are both nuts on him.
Gotcha. But instead, the first ban from Europe going to be for that teammate. Same kind of ban they threw out last game. Superman, of course, coming out from Korea. Pretty standard stuff so far.
Big thing Korea did was they got rid of a lot of mages and then picked the marksmen that were remaining in the pool. So, if Korea do that again, I expect to see a similar result. Europe outdrafted.
Man, you're supposed to be leading them towards a 5-1 here.
Europe will not be outdrafted because they will draft good.
Sounds reasonable to me.
I'm feeling this plan.
Yes, of course. That sounds like I think you could be their coach.
Yeah, the Omen gets banned.
There it is. Look at that.
I'm the best coach.
You just had to support them a little bit better. Aram getting banned on the Korea side.
The Aram, a very standard ban. So Korea isn't yet, and to me that says they want to go for an early pickup that will leave Lindis open. They don't want to run the risk of that Lindis being swapped over to Korea.
Well, let's see. What is Korea thinking right now? They're going to go with the Zenial ban. That's the one that kind of helped them out last game in a couple of clutch situations as well, might I add.
Yeah, Korea much less strong bans. Last time it was very definitely researched and directed. This time it feels like this is just general good characters you don't want to play against. A first pick Malik. Okay.
I like how you're like, okay, and Korea gonna take the Grixie perhaps with the Violet?
Yeah, so the two characters I was looking for to follow up with the CC comp that Europe has been going for were the Grixie and the Violet, and they just passed up on both of them.
Yeah, but they got their Malik. How do you feel about that?
Yes.
It's gonna help them get to the 5-1?
Good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Malik will help them get to the 5-1.
2 damage after?
Yeah, so they have a good Malik. It's not a bad pick. It's just allowed Korea to get a better 2 picks.
Right.
Which is, even as the hardcore EU fan I am, kind of worrying me a bit.
Well, hear about this. How about you like that Grak pick again?
Yes.
Wow, you seem so much less enthused about it this time. I thought he was your boy.
Okay, Memorize didn't land a single hook last game.
He was kind of off.
If he turns that around, if we see all the hooks land this game, then I'm back on board. But if you're missing all the hooks, you're not really a Grak player, you're me. And that's not something anyone should aspire towards.
Look, man, I'll back up EU for you. First game jitters. That's what those hooks were, right? First game jitters. That's all it was. Irie also being locked in over there on the European side. And right now, over on the Korean side, we're looking like maybe we're going to get Chognar and Arduin. Yes, sir. Lock him in. Why not?
Arduin's apparently meta these days, and he's certainly not bad. He and Chognar are actually kind of in the same category for me. They're both viable characters that I don't necessarily need to see. So, if you want to play a tanky character, that's good, fine. Then they're right there for you.
Wow, and you're considering that Slims again. I know you're loving that thought.
I don't like this thought.
No, you're definitely not a fan of Slim or Fennec.
No, and not just because I mess up their name, because I genuinely don't think they're good marksmen. If you're in this place where you've let the Violet go to the opposition, you battened out the Lindis, maybe now's the time to think about other options in the jungle.
Such as what?
Well, maybe a
Liliana?
No, you should not run Liliana in the jungle.
Why not?
Because, alright, sure, you're a tryout. Surprise me. It looks like we will see the Liliana through.
Maybe. Liliana, and you get your Slims, though. Your boy Slims, he's returning.
Getting Shurko on Liliana is good. I like Shurko, and I like his damage on Liliana. That's going to be a spot of light for the team. If you want that Slims to find value, it has to be way better in the jungle. They have to shut down the Korean invade much more, and I'm not confident they can do that with the composition they have. Again, it's light on damage. The Irie is the change to that. If the Irie can get out ahead and provide a little bit more damage, it's better than the Scud. It is that warrior replacement for the Scud that I was asking for.
Right, so Irie, Liliana, and Slims, that sounds like some pretty decent damage if it can land a hook. Much less CC, though.
Yeah. I think they still have plenty of CC because
they do.
You can run the Slims through to the Blinding Light from Liliana, you have the Shock, you have the Grak, and you have the Stun on Irie. So, yes, they have a lot of damage, and I like the damage improvement. They still are very focused on control.
And it looks like Lubu being locked in on that side now for
That's
Korea.
Scary. Lubu in general is scary when it's played by many of the Asian teams.
Right, and it looks like quite a few flickers on the side of Korea, just a couple on Europe's side.
Yeah, I don't know if those talents will get swapped around, but you're absolutely right. They're focusing on Flicker on many of their tanks. This allows, for the Arduin especially, it allows higher mobility on a control-focused character. You can get Arduin flickering right into the middle of fight, taking a lot of damage at the right moments, and finding a lot of good stuns.
Yeah, so let's take a look at these team compositions in just a second. I mean, it's looking like it went pretty good.
I'm losing faith. I'm going to be honest.
What? Come on,
I'm
man.
losing a lot of faith in Europe, which is a shame because I really want to see them succeed.
You gotta believe, man. You gotta believe. Commit to believe. It'll work out.
If Korea turn this around, or if Europe turn this around against Korea, it needs to be such a change from this last game. And they haven't changed their comp very much at all.
Yeah, and just looking at the players' faces, they're all looking like they're just here to play. Korea is good to go, and it's time, actually. Everyone's good to go. Game number 2, EU versus Korea. EU on the EU.
On this Crixie, watch for it. We didn't see a Crixie last game. It's currently the highest damage mage in the game, and I'm already worried if you're not able to dive in and burn it down. Thankfully, EU has a lot of control abilities.
Yeah, it looks like EU rotating very well, gets caught with that mischief that time, and there was no jungle invade for anyone that time, so Violet gonna start at her red jungle, and she's gonna take it by herself.
That's good. Keep the jungle invades out of the European jungle. Keep the farm going. Unfortunately, Chaser has other ideas. You can already see him pressing forward to cut wave on the minimap. That's a tiny little detail, but it will make a big difference if he's successfully able to do it.
Yeah, you can see him there at the bot lane, trying to get out of there now.
He has the HP to do this, I think. This is the disgusting part about early game Arduin, and you can see his movement! He's the jukes! He's got a flicker not spent. He can get over this wall, but he's just stalling out instead, waiting for the rest of the team to join him. Early game Arduin is gross.
That looks like pretty fun.
No.
Yeah.
You should feel bad if you have that much HP that early on.
That looks fun. I'm about it. Arduin, though, gonna have to recall. Gonna take him a little bit of time to get back to lane.
It's alright, though. The damage is done. They cut the wave, and this allows them to instantly refocus their players up towards the mid.
Exactly. Now you see Korea. They're grouping around that mid. Liliana playing pretty safe, though. Pretty far back.
They swapped lanes. Arduin's up top now. Oh, that's a big opportunity.
Oh, first blood for Hawk over memorized. Where was the hook?
Nicely done just to catch memorized out. And yeah, where was the hook? That's kind of what you look
together. Man, and the Nature's Wrath popping everyone up, and Korea just going to walk away. Yeah, we'll disengage from this one. We don't need all those kills.
I hate to bag on players. I hate to be like, Memorize, this is not going well for you, but this Grak does not look great.
No, definitely not. I mean, that time was his best chance of landing a hook, right? It was kind of like a prey hook. Like, please, just grab anyone. Anyone, please? Anyone in the bush? And it just missed everybody. Maybe it just counted to great positional awareness from Korea.
Yeah, Korea definitely is. The fact that they were able to secure their jungle. You've seen much less successful invades from Korea. They've been successfully challenged multiple times, but they haven't managed to find more than that. And it's no good playing defense if you're losing all of the times that you peek out of your jungle.
Indeed it isn't. And right now, let's see, what's EU going to do to turn things around? Grizzly Q definitely losing the 1v1 up top to Chaser.
You say that. So the thing about Malik is he can lose a fight and then just regain double his HP and shield.
Yeah. He's still losing the fight.
He controls it for now. He survives the fight, and that should be enough. Grizzly Q is doing quite well, all things considered. He's only a little bit behind his lane opponent. You can see, by contrast, Memorized on the support is sitting at level 5. Shurko barely in that level 6. Oh, that's a nice hook, though. Good response in mid. They're not able to combo it through, and indeed, that's going to be Hawk going down. Shurko finally finding value. There's the Riki shot. That's 2. Nicely done from Europe.
5-1 incoming. EU boys looking up the top lane, though.
Chaser will be able to pick up the tower, and that's unfortunate. The instant collapse on the Spirit Sentinel from Europe is smart, though. You know you've probably lost that tower, so just try and get an objective, return to mid lane, and punish a tower take here.
And look at it, answering back. They're trying to get this mid tower now, but Sun's there as well.
They ought to be just happy with their control. That's the first time, though, we've seen that combo work well, right? The Grak into the big damage from the Liliana. That's what we need them to do consistently.
Yeah, and I like that EU's just rotating all the way through, poking all these towers. They might have get the bot tower. Now it's going to be a 4-on-4 engage. What do we got?
That's a nice hook. It's on Hawk. He's completely isolated. He has to blow his ult to stay alive.
Actually gets the kill.
It gets 2 kills, and that is devastating.
Ouch, and Rush takes out Rez there, and Shurko has to back away to his tower in full retreat. And now it's Korea's turn to try to push on this bottom tower. They've got minions behind it as well.
That is the perfect ult, but it's the perfect ult in response to that hook from Hawk. He's able to pop the Moonfall, and then he backs off to the side of the fight, allowing his AoE to punish the clumped players while not directly being targetable.
And another dragon for Korea.
I want to take another look at that play because I was so impressed by the Moonfall. There's the hook, perfect, and then Hawk just backs out, says, not this time. J-Jack running perfect interference, and it's a cleanup.
Oh, man, yeah, that is unfortunate.
Oh, and you can see just how unfortunate they thought it was.
Top lane battling again, non-stop, actually, between Chaser and the Malik up there.
It's a little bit of a wet pillow fight, though.
A wet pillow fight?
Yeah.
What the heck is a wet pillow fight?
Like you soak your pillow and then you just hit somebody and it doesn't do much damage. That's the point.
It's a European thing, I'm sure. J-Jack trying to just make sure they're not taking that Slayer over there.
And I don't know if they can. Just because they've lost that top lane tower, they don't really have the ability to control that side of the map, which is where things get dangerous.
Yeah, I like the attempt at the hook there. Doesn't land for him. Thankfully, actually, considering all the Queen members are around.
They're so spitty. That, you're so spitty. I like it. That's a sign they're still engaged. There's the cull going through. Chaser pokes away and cleans wave. That's very nicely done.
Yeah, I mean, this battle up there, Chaser pushing up that lane, and he's got so much control over that top lane. I feel like they really need to rotate and kind of stop him, because otherwise he's going to be up the high ground tower eventually no matter what.
This is just what Chaser does. He's such a good lane pusher. He's such a good lane pusher. Memorized. Look at this hook. He's looking for it again. This time he finds it. Get on the Hawk, but he disengages. Flicker. It's perfect. Moonfall finds big damage. Shoko is gone. Memorized. How do you survive that? 2 towers. It doesn't matter.
No, and Rez trying to answer back. Grizzly with the shock. Does not get J-Jack. They're trying to finally get him out, and Rez out of there. But Grizzly Q left behind.
Grizzly may be in trouble. I think he should go down, and he does.
Yeah, he already used the shock to get in there, so he doesn't have it as an escape. But that was an interesting exchange there.
I like the fact that we see that from Rez. Very, very good individual player, and we see those mechanics there. Diving in, using the Irie ult to stun up the front line, and then immediately committing to the back to find burst damage.
Yeah, very well played. You see that mid tower there very low on the Korea side. Now let's take a look one more time at that last fight. That was pretty crazy, to be honest.
First off, Sun, why are you there?
Yeah.
And he did it like twice. Grizzly Q, the second victim of that. But yes, Rez just diving in, and he uses the ult there for the disengage, his shadow dash letting him leave.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there from Irie. And here we go. Looks like Korea gonna get another Abyssal Dragon. Why not? They've already got 2. They're way ahead of the goal lead. 3,000 up right now. And it's gonna be a free Abyssal Dragon for them. No counter from them. And boy, oh boy, EU, what are you gonna do?
That rhymes too. I don't think that's a good sign for Europe. Here's the pressure in mid lane. We're writing poems about your defeat. And that tower will fall. Good combo attempted. Rez goes in, but he's instantly shut down. And Memorized is unable to find the hook.
Yeah, EU is having such a hard time stopping Korea from pushing on all these towers. And now you see Korea, this is exactly what they did last game, just rotating in, taking tower after tower. And now they're just gonna start deleting people? That's just rude.
They just kite back the first commit and pick up the second tank easily. Rez hard committing to try and hold, doesn't have the ult up to really play it, and as a result, can't do anything to stay alive.
Yeah, Rush with the double kill that time. Look at the damage Rush inflicting on that tower.
Hello, Chaser.
Pushing in.
Living up to his name. That's a hard commit. Grizzly Q will try and get out, but that is disgusting damage coming out from this Violet and the combo, especially with Crixie.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, tons of damage on the table there. Violet right now 5-0, and the Crixie 4-1. They're feeling pretty healthy out there. 7.4k gold for the Violet.
Really?
Yeah, it's a bit.
He could open a bakery or something. That's absurd.
A Violet bakery?
That's like all the
red violet cake instead of red velvet cake? Yeah, could work.
Sure, I'm in. You've sold me. Business proposal approved.
Violet velvet cake?
But the problem is, I don't have a good business proposal for this EU team.
No, I'm in the same boat.
Because they're still being completely shut down on all sides. They still have been unable to really find the CC combos with a follow-up. The only real things that have turned around fights have been individual plays from players like Rez.
Yeah, and it looks like right now Korea potentially thinking about that Slayer. They've been sitting up there in those bushes for quite a while. Chaser now finally maybe getting engaged, doesn't get anything out of it. And now they're just going to maybe push in to this red side, blue side jungle. That's the color combination I was looking for.
You're fine. One of the two colors. Shurko does have the capacity to dive in, though, and we've seen that multiple times. If I have to highlight an EU player who could turn this around, Shurko's the best mage in Europe. Maybe he does the damage. Maybe he finds value with his Slayer buff against him. This is going to be rough.
Yeah, this is exactly how the last game ended. We're at 11 minutes 40 seconds. Korea has a 10-3 lead and a 7k goal lead. What are you going to do, EU? Now is the time. But unfortunately for you, Korea's got the Slayer buff and they've got a minion wave coming at you.
Good defense. We saw this last game as well. They were able to just control the wave for an inordinately long amount of time.
I mean, it's going to have to be super inordinately long.
Super is the word,
oh
baby.
My God. Grizzly Q, are you going to survive?
He heals the shock
out. Yeah, he's got to do it. Don't wait.
Beautiful disengage, and that tower takes almost no damage, which is astounding considering Rush is right there in the middle of the fight on Violet.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Sun isn't even there. And right now, Sun finally rotating back so he can poke in the mid tower and split them up.
Look at how much damage that tower, look at how much damage that Rez is taking. The Chaos Protector protects against the World Devourer. Now Grizzly Q is under threat as well. It is devastating.
Yeah, not only devastating, it is game to get a hook onto the game, but it doesn't matter. The core is going to go down, and Korea going to get a clean sweep, 2-0 over EU. I'm sorry.